Hi guys, welcome to the sixth weekend review on Totally Speedway's Daniel Powell. And what a night of action we've had. I'm down here at Blackwater Bay. It's a little bit windy, so hopefully the wind doesn't affect this broadcast too much. I'm wearing my Toby Balboan hat today. It's keeping me nice and shady so I don't get my bald head burnt. So first things first, we'll talk about the Speedway Grand Prix, which was on Saturday night. So that was held that was held last night at Melbourne's Etihad Stadium, and what a fantastic result it was. Jason Doyle, born in Newcastle in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales, he was crowned the sixth Australian to win the World Speedway Grand Prix Championship. So well done to Jason with that. He done it in style. He ended up coming away with the win. He also won the battle and the war. So he brought the house down with a near perfect ride. He won 4 out of his 5 heat races. He got second in the other. He had wrapped up the championship by the time the third round of heats had come through. So it was an awesome result. And then he ended up getting second in the semi-final one, and then he was able to make it the final, and then he just dominated from start to finish throughout the 4-lap final and brought it home. So he defeated Ty Wolferton, a 2-time Australian champion, a 2-time world champion himself, born and raised in Australia but lives in the UK. Bartosz Zasmastik ended up third. Patrick Dudek, he was the guy that was challenging Jason Doyle for the championship, but he was unable to. He had an unfortunate night. Jason Doyle was just on fire all night, and he ended up coming over the win, where Patrick Dudek, he ended up second in the point standings, and he was able to he had a really bad run in the final where his bike packed up, and that gave him he was 4th place in the final. Still a great result for Patrick Dudek. He ended up second in the World Championship stands, created a bit of history by becoming the first rider to win to place second on debut. So no one had ever finished in the top 2 of the Speedo Grand Prix point standings in their debut season. So well done to Patrick, and a great result. In the point standings, so Jason Doyle finished comfortably ahead of his nearest rivals with 161 points. Second was Patrick Dudek with 143. Third was Ty Wolferton, 131. Magic Jalowski, I'm still trying to work out these names. He was 4th in the standings. Bartosz Zasmastik, he was 5th. Emerald Strike Studenoff, he was 6th. Matty Zagard was 7th, and Frederick Lingden was 8th. So the top 8 automatically qualify through to the next year's Speedo Grand Prix. Our own Chris Holder, who finished 10th in the point standings. He had a mixed bag this season, but he ended up 10th, but he doesn't get automatically qualification. So, but no doubt the 2012 world champion will get a start for next year. A few of the highlights apart from Doyle's win, like Jason Doyle, he gets on the podium, and it's a famous line for the rugby league fans, where Matty Johns, when the Newcastle Knights won the grand final in 1997, he says, one of the journalists was asking, what's it feel like? And he goes, it's better than Lego. And that was something that Jason Doyle said on the podium. So I don't think a whole lot of people got that unless you're a rugby league fan. So that was pretty cool. But another cool thing, he put on his gold levers, then went into the casino at Melbourne, and he partied with everyone. So it was pretty cool. There's a number of photos going around on Facebook, on social media at the moment, in regards to fans getting up close and personal with Jason, and being able to party with a world champion. It's probably something that you wouldn't be able to see anywhere else in the world of motorsport, to have a world champion. He just goes out into a nightclub and parties with everyone. So that was pretty awesome to see for Jason Doyle, and lap it up. And it's great that the amount of people that everyone was able to celebrate with him, and I think that comes down to the Australian spirit. So another highlights to come out of last night for the Aussies. So we had there was obviously Jason Doyle and Chris Holder that were the main guys that were running last night, but also you had Sam Masters, who was a wild card. Then you had Davey Watt and Justin Sedgman. So they were, all 5 of them were in the main cards on the night. Also, we had reserves. We had Brady Kurtz and Rowan Tungate. Brady Kurtz had a dream debut. One of the riders were eliminated out of the opening heat race, and Brady was able to come in as a reserve. He goes out there, gets the jump out of the gates, leads it, and goes on to win. So it was pretty awesome for Brady Kurtz, a young kid out of Cowra in country New South Wales, to be able to come away with a win. So that was awesome. That was his only ride on the night, but what an opportunity, and it's all about taking the opportunity when it presents itself. Another star, one of the reserves, was Rowan Tungate. So Rowan Tungate's a Newcastle boy. He's from where Jason Doyle, around that area, is. He come in as a reserve. He had 2 rides and he ended up coming away with 2 wins. So that was pretty awesome to see Rowan Tungate come out there, and certainly these guys were able to show a lot of people what they're made of when the opportunity presents themselves. So in total there was 6 Australians featured, or 7, sorry. There was 7 Australians featured throughout the night, so that was awesome to see. But yeah, the Speedo Grand Prix, it was awesome. There was about 21,000 people there last night. Hopefully that can be bigger. It's really hard. Like, if that was a smaller stadium, it was 21,000, it would have been awesome. But since it's such a huge stadium with 50+ thousand seats, it certainly makes it hard. When there's 21,000 in there, it doesn't look as big as what it should be. But it'd be awesome to see. Like the Etihad Stadium's a world-class facility. It's great to showcase, but we just probably need more people there to fill it up. But it was certainly a great atmosphere, and watching it live on TV was awesome to see, but it would have been even better to be there. But yeah, so that was great, and it's congratulations once again to Jason Doyle, and congratulations to all the Aussies, and hopefully this can become more and more of a regular thing with the Speedo Grand Prix featuring in Australia, because like Speedway, unofficial or word on the street is back in 1923 Speedway solos started there at the Maitland Showground in New South Wales. So it was pretty cool to have a guy not far from Maitland in Newcastle with Jason Doyle be able to win the World Championships. So with that. Also, in other racing on Saturday, last night, we had the 410 sprint cars at Sydney's Valvoline Raceway. That was round 3 of the USC Track Championship. It certainly had a little bit of everything. There was controversial incidents. There was drivers running out of fuel. But in the end, it was James Thompson who was able to survive manage his fuel the best. There was a lot of restarts and stoppages throughout the feature race. It was unfortunate. But James Thompson, it took him an age to get his first feature race win, over 10 years to get his first one. He got that 2 seasons ago. Now he's wrapped up his second one. So it was awesome to see James Thompson be able to do it. Does it on a tight budget, but was able to bring it all together. Started from position 3, manage his fuel, and bring it home with the win. So unfortunate for Robbie Farr. Robbie Farr was leading with 4 laps to go, and he ran out of fuel. So that put an end to his run. And then, that put him out. Another impressive performance was Mitchell Dumsney. He was driving the Daniel Needham car, the New South Wales number 95 car, for the first time, and he managed to come from position 20. He was within podium contention, but he too ran out of fuel as well, so that put him out. Another spectacular DNF was Sean Dobson from Tasmania. He had qualified on the outside of the front row for the feature race after running second to Sammy Walsh in the pole shuffle. On the opening lap, both Walsh and Dobson made contact as they were going down the back straight, and resulted in a huge crash for Dobson. Dobson was none too happy about the incident, but unfortunately it put him out, and Walsh was able to continue. So behind Thompson on the podium, Grant Tunks, one of those guys that's been racing 25 plus years now, pushing 30 years in sprint cars, turning up every season, racing on a shoestring budget, putting in whatever he could to do it. Grant ended up second, so that was his best result. Sorry, just making sure that that's still working. That put him out. That put in a great result for Tunks, and he was able to come home in second after starting from position 2. Sammy Walsh, the pole sitter, he ended up third. Fourth was Max Dumsney, the veteran, came from position 12. Mick Sala put in a great drive to conserve his fuel and just be there at the end. That was a career best drive in 5th. He came out of position 21 after running 4th in the B main. So that was cool. Kim Becker in another career best for her too. She started from position 19 and brought it home in 6th place. Blake Skipper, his best run ever at Sydney's Valvoline Raceway. He ended up starting for position 15, so he qualified automatically into the feature, but then brought it home in 7th. Marcus Dumsney, another top 10 result for the youngster. He was 8th. Brendan Scorgi, another driver to put in a career best performance. He was 9th, so he started from position 13. Matt Dumsney, who had won the B main, he started from position 21, charged his way up to 3rd, but unfortunately ran lower fuel, and that dropped him back to position 10. So there was plenty of stoppages, plenty of incidents out there, but yeah, it was a great result. In the other classes, in the support class on the night, Darren Kane, so there was a strong field of super sedans, about 20 plus, and this obviously getting a lot of drivers wanting to get laps before the national title later this season for the super sedans. It's going to be at Valvoline Raceway. So Darren Kane ran the previous weekend in the late model there. Unfortunately, their feature race was cancelled, but on this occasion, the feature race was run, and Darren ended up coming over, convincing victory over Lachlan Onley in 2nd, and Ryan Alexander from South Australia in 3rd. Ian Brims was 4th, and 5th was Tasmanian Corey Smith. So Corey Smith continues to show plenty of promise running on a tight budget, but he was able to bring home a top 5 result, so he was really happy with that. In the MCA Nationals, John Lodge Jr., he made a cameo appearance in the MCA Nationals running the New South Wales number 28 car, normally driven by Shane Anderson. John Lodge, best known for his antics in sedans, so street stocks, and he's run super sedans. He's even driven a Lightning Sprint before and done really well in that. On this occasion, John Lodge came away with the win. He defeated Shane Cartwright in 2nd, and 3rd was last start winner at Valvoline Raceway, Terry Pankhurst in 3rd. In the Lightning Sprints, AJ McTaggart made a return to racing for the first time this season. Pete Stiles in a career best drive was 2nd, and Danny Stone brought it home in 3rd. So we've got, there's plenty of racing going on at Valvoline Raceway. So got that. Sorry, the wind is just blowing through. And in Archerfield Speedway, we had a great result for Big Al Woods. So Archerfield Speedway ran the 410 sprint cars, so that was round 4 of the East Coast Logistics Series, and it was Big Al Woods. Not Big Al Woods, he's small now because he's lost all that weight. But Al Woods, he's usually doing all these videos and all that, similar to like what I'm doing. But he was started from position 10. And yeah, he ended up coming away with the win. Just a quick one, guys. For the ones that are watching, are you able to let me know if you can hear me? Either comment, like, just so I can know, because I'm not sure. It's saying that it's live and the numbers are going up and down, but just if you could just let me know, just by making a comment that you could hear me okay, and yeah, that'd be great. So yeah, in the Big Al Woods, put it all. Okay, I can see some thumbs and all that. So okay, it looks like we're still going. But I was just getting paranoid that it wasn't working because it was all, there was, no engagement. Yep, okay, thanks, Josh. Thanks, Craig. There's more people tuning in than I think. But thanks, guys, for tuning in. Sweet. So in the 410 Sprigger, so Big Al Woods ended up coming away with the win. It was his 2nd feature race win in the 410 Sprint cars at Archerfield Speedway, so a great drive. Mitchell G, who's had a consistent start to the season for the Titan Racing team, and he was 2nd, and 3rd was Callum Walker. That was his 2nd podium finish. He finished 3rd last season in one of the feature races, and he was brought it home in 3rd. Peter Lack, who won the dash and started from pole position, he was 4th. Ben Hilda started from position 5 and ran 5th. Luke Oldfield was 6th. Brad Ayres was 7th. That's one of his strongest drives in recent years for the budget racer. Brock Dean, the veteran racer, was 8th. Andrew Shirley, who had an unhappy night, he'd won the first 2 opening rounds of the East Coast Logistics Series, and he was 9th. And Dan Murray, another one of the budget races, in 10th. So it was really difficult conditions for all the drivers out there. There was a number of upset results. Al Woods coming away with the win was pretty awesome to see, and it's great to see he's one of those guys that's not backwards in coming forwards, but a great guy who loves the sport and puts so much into it. So yeah, it was great to see Al Woods get up for the win. And then the support classes, we had the development series, so they ran on Saturday night at Archerfield Speedway. It was Peter Campbell again, the lightning sprint racer. He came out on top, so he ended up winning the coming away with the win. Second was Chris Jennings. He's out of out of wingless sprints, and third was Alicia Woods. So that's the youngest daughter of Alan Woods. So she brought it home in third on the podium. So, and then the V8 Dirt Modifieds on the night. Former Australian champion Andrew Bazzuti came out on top in the feature race and that was the V8 Dirt Modifieds' first appearance in Queensland. Terry Liedenveld, who's an accomplished racer in the mod lights. He won just about everything. He's late last season stepped into V8 Dirt Modifieds. He ended up second. The veteran Ray Claridge was third. Phil Roberts, who a lot of people probably wouldn't know who Phil is. Phil Roberts has made the move into V8 Dirt Modifieds this season, and out of Formula 500s, and he finished just off the podium in fourth, so a really strong run for him in his debut outing. And fifth was Kevin Britton, one of the favourites heading into the event, but here the best he could do on the night was fifth place. In the compact speed cars, Terry Farrell came away with the win, Matt O'Neill was second, and Trent Usher was third. And the Formula 500s, which is their third round of their KRE Series Championship, and that was, surprise, surprise, current Australian champion Liam Williams came away with another strong win. His girlfriend or partner in Kristen Brown was second, and Ryan McNamara was third. Graham Williams, who's recently, in recent years, stepped into Formula 500s, he was fourth, and Piper Golev put in another strong performance. She brought it home in fifth. And interesting to note that Kurt Wilson, the current Australian lightning sprint champion, made his Formula 500 debut last night, and he came home in seventh, so he done really well, and no doubt if he can get more laps in the Formula 500s, he should be up there running up, challenging at the pointy end of the field. So that was cool to see. Unfortunately, last night's Powerpalooza, which at the Perth Motorplex in Western Australia, had to be postponed. So it's been brought till tonight. Hopefully the weather's kind and they can get the meeting in. So Powerpalooza was going to be incorporating, it's a new initiative by the Perth Motorplex promotion over there on the West Coast. They were going to incorporate Speedway, drags and burnouts. So just some cross-promotion, run it all through the day. And yeah, that's probably getting underway as we speak. So it started there. So start with the drag racing and the burnouts, and then the Speedway into the night. So that's really cool to see. Good initiative. So on tonight there'll be the 410 sprint cars, there'll be late model speed cars, Formula 500s and wingless sprints. So it's really good to see the Perth Motorplex doing something different, utilising the facilities that they do have, and how we can cross promote to try and grow both categories to make it a profitable. Sorry, I got me tongue tied there. In terms of transaction for the Motorplex. So, and then Maryborough Speedway in Queensland, they had their 2017-2018 season opener, and they had 100 plus cars on the field. It was a really rough track due to all the rain leading up to the event, but it is what it is. It was a great meeting with a lot of cars. So in the super sedans, you had Lee Williams came away with the win. Second was Ashley Peel, and Bob McAllister was third. In the wingless sprints, which is the third round of the Ian Botcher Race Parts supported Queensland Club Championship, and it was Cody O'Connell, so that was his second feature race win of his career, done really well on the night. Paul Robinson was second, and third was Brian Dixon. Brian Dixon is a recent addition to the wingless sprint field. He came in last season. For people that have probably got a long memory, or a good memory, will remember Brian Dixon. He V8 Dirt Modifieds in the late 80s, early 90s, and stepped into sprint cars in the early to mid 90s as well. It's the LJ Hook and a Queensland number 55 car. So it's an immaculate presented car. So yeah, Brian's back into the racing. He's got a couple of other cars. So also in the production sedan. So that's round one of the Ian Botcher Race Parts series, and that was and that attracted 38 cars. So it's a huge amount for production sedans in Queensland. It doesn't seem like that long ago that production sedans were just struggling to get numbers. The same with street stocks in Queensland, because obviously they were changing from street sedans and super street sedans, so that phasing in as national classes. So yeah, to get 38 cars, it really shows the great how Queensland's really embraced change. So yeah, so in the end, the feature race, it was Josh Harm that got the win. Richard Cook was second, and third was Josh Krang. So yeah, Josh Harm, a really strong racer and consistent. If he can put it all together and have luck on his side, he'll be able to pick up more wins. In the street stocks, it was Travis Hutchinson who picked up the feature race win. Peter Thompson, who recently ran third in the NT street stock title and is the defending New South Wales street stock champion. He ended up in second, and third was Murray Batley, so he brought it home in third. In the national fours, so it was Hayden Turner who emerged the winner. Matt Bilby, I think that's how you say it, was second, and third was Braden Moody. In the junior sedans, you had top stars and new stars, so they'll split into two different categories. In the top stars, it was Casey O'Connell, so that's the younger brother of Cody, so it was a big night of celebrations for the O'Connell family. Casey, who's the current Queensland number 3 in SSA street stocks, and he's also Queensland number 1 in RSA junior sedans as well. Dakota Lavatory was second, and third was Mason Cameron. So well done to all the youngsters there, and a great field. In the new stars, it was Jaden Torrisi, I think that's how you say it. He ended up coming away with the win. Jai Kumar was second, and third was Bodie Russ. So well done to all those guys, and well done for Maryborough Speedway for having such a strong field straight up. Then we go to Hesson's Auto Parts Grafton Speedway last night, and they had one of their club shows. And in the wingless sprints, it was Kevin Willis. He drove away with the win. Second was Trent Martin, so that's the former Queensland champion, and third was Matthew Wright. So a great drive for them. Mason Cattle was fourth, and Michael Gray from Coffs Harbour was fifth. In the MK National, it was Tony Blanche, the current Victorian number 2, come away with the win. Matt Dunlop and current NT champion Shane Newstead was second and third place respectively. In the production sedans, it was Mark Quirk who defeated Chris Besling and Tim Hards. I think that's how you say it. And the RSA street stockers, Jamie Smith was the winner. Jamie Betts and Nathan Fisher was second and third. In the junior sedans, it was Josh Boyd come away with another impressive victory. Sam Mooney and Riley Smith was second and third. In Kalgoorlie International Speedway over in Western Australia, it's on the way to just after the Nullarbor, Kalgoorlie, so it's on the way to Perth, in the middle there of WA. And they finally got their 2017-18 season underway. So I'm going to be flying away here. Hopefully people can still hear me. In the Kalgoorlie, a fortnight ago they had their first meeting, but unfortunately that was cancelled due to rain. On this occasion they had the annual Stocktober event, a huge event for street stocks in the area, sponsored by Grandmasters, which is the Wakefield family who do a lot for Speedway around the area, and also street stocks in particular. And fittingly, it was Evan Wakefield, so the son of Bob Wakefield, the owner of Grandmasters. He ended up coming away with the win. Jack Barnwell was second, and third was Peter Walker, another local, and good friends with the Wakefield family. Darren Forrest, who come all the way with his wife Megan, ended up fourth. So they brought both of their cars over for this event and were able to support it, and it ended up fourth. And Wayne Glasson was fifth. In the support classes, it was in the MK Nationals, it was Matt Lahilia. He had a great drive to come away with the win. Jack Barnwell was second, and third was Sean Cabbage. In the production stand, it was Jeff Paul, one of the good guys of the sport. He travels a lot around. His car was able to stay together and get the win. Former Australian champion Tim Green was second, and third was Rob Bowden, who spent some time in super sedans, so he's running production sedans. In the junior sedans, it was Lachlan Della who was a win. Blake Fletcher was second, and Dylan Parks was third. Then we've got a few more things to go. So down in Tasmania, Solo Hobart Speedway, they had their first run for the season, and yeah, there was a strong field of cars across all fields down there. In the Super Sedans, it was Callum Harper who walked away with a comfortable victory. Wayne Dillon and Anthony Mannion were second and third. In the Modified Sedans, it was Brad Herbert, who's recently stepped into the class after running Junior Sedans and obviously last season wingless sprints as well, has presented immaculate presented car, showing that it just doesn't look good, it also goes good, and he was able to come away with the feature race win. Trent Quilliard, I think that's how you're saying it, was second, and third was Andy Russell. So well done to Brad, and great to see you getting some good laps. The car looks $1 million and also goes just as good as well, so well done there. In the AMCA Nationals, it was Jake Briggs who picked up an emotion charged victory. Well done there, Jake, to get your first win in the AMCA Nationals, or first feature race win. The Bassett father and son duo of Adrian and Rodney. Adrian, the son, ran second, and Rodney, the dad, was third. In the speed cars, it was Luke Redpath, who's current Australian number 2 in wingless sprints and the Tasmanian champion in wingless sprints. He drove to victory in the speed cars. Mitchell Freeman was second, and third was Luke Sapwell, who's come out of Formula 500s before that. In the Tassie 6, it was Cameron Briggs, so another Briggs win for the Briggs family in the Tassie 6s. Dwayne Saunders was second, and Adam Banks, who was making his long-awaited return to racing, he showed good form first up and ended up third. In the bomber class, Todd Bennett won ahead of Harry Moore and Mitch Appleby. That Appleby is a famous name in Tasmanian speedway circles. Then we go up north into Cairns, up in North Queensland, and they held round 5 of the Stampede Formula 500 series, and it was James Kennedy, the Brisbane-based racer, who came away with the win. Ryan Skenner, another Brisbane-based racer, was second, and third was Caden Iverson. So Caden Iverson took the challenge to start from the rear of the field, and if he could come through, he was highest points heading into the final. Started from the rear of the field, took the challenge, had the opportunity to win nearly $2,500, but unfortunately fell short of that and ended up third. But nothing ventured, nothing gained, but he was third. Lexi Underwood was fourth, and Billy Foyle was fifth. And the modified sedans, it was John O'Collins, one of the elder statesmen of modified sedans up there in the north of Queensland. He ended up the win. Chris Ross was second, and Jason Cummins was third. In the national fours, it was Jono's younger brother in Darren Collins, or I think it's his older brother. I think it's one of them. And then, Darren Collins won in the national fours. So, well done with that. And the Murray Bridge Speedway last night, they had a club show headlined by the Super Sedans. In the Super Sedans, it was there was a small field, but Dave Gartner, who's the current Australian number 2 and multiple South Australian champion in the Super Sedans, he walked away with an easy win. He ended up winning both of his heat race, won the 20-lap feature race comfortably, and in the process shaved 28 seconds off the lap record. So well done there, Dave, and a great start to the season, and looking forward to seeing more of you at the major shows. Paul Belkincong was second, and Steve Swartz was third. In the mod lights, it was Michael Cowlin that drove away with the victory. Second was Matt Eagle making a cameo appearance. He's obviously well known for his antics in 410 sprint cars, but he was having a guest drive. He brought it home in second, and third was Scott Webb. In the street stocks, it was Corey Weston who was able to defeat a large field and go on to win there impressively. Neville Nitschik was second, and third was Nigel Richstein. I think that's how you say it. Hopefully I get all these names correct with that. And then the junior sedans, it was Nathan Fawn, one of the state's leading drivers. He ended up coming away with the win. Shani Pitcher was second, and third was Aaron Tranter. So well done to those guys. Unfortunately, when it comes to the international racing, the World of Outlaws, obviously last weekend we were celebrating with Kerry Madsen coming away with an impressive win. Unfortunately, at Dodge City Raceway Park in Kansas, they were going to have a double header, and that was unfortunately cancelled due to the wet weather. So no World of Outlaws racing this weekend, but their championship is winding down, Donny Schultz has got one hand on the trophy, so it doesn't look like he will be beaten unless he had some unfortunate incidents. But stranger things to happen. So yeah, so that completes this weekend's weekend wrap. Please like, comment, share. Really appreciate the feedback. This coming week we're going to have the Conversations program, just confirming my guest for that. So it's going to be one of the track promoters. So we're going to be having a chat with them on Tuesday night. Wednesday night with the usual Q&A with me at 7:30. And then on Friday we'll do the weekend preview. And then this time again we'll be doing the weekend wrap. So please like, comment, share. Any feedback's much appreciated. The support. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. But yeah, and I'll see you on Tuesday night for the Conversations program. So I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.